Welcome, elected. Today we are here to talk about something that few dare to mention, something that challenges the very essence of what we understand as fear and courage. Today, I want you to think about the power of the heavenly, how such a pure and powerful light can be able to face and overcome the deepest darkness. But we are not talking about just any light, we are talking about the light of an angel, a being sent by God Himself, endowed with the authority and strength that only He can give. Yes, friends, we are talking about a power that goes beyond the human, beyond what we know and what the world has already experienced. Imagine, for a moment, that crucial moment when the fear of a demon bows before the divine presence. How many times have we heard that demons are fearsome, that they have no brakes or limits? However, you, who are here watching this video, belong to a special group, to that elite that is destined to know the truth, a truth that the world may never understand. You are not just anyone. It is not here by chance. If you are seeing this message, it is because the universe has placed in your path the possibility of discovering something profound, something transformative. Today, you will learn how, with the divine strength that God has placed in your life, you can challenge and overcome any darkness, any shadow, any fear that tries to dominate your path. And believe me, it's no coincidence that you've made it this far. There are forces in heaven and on earth working for those who have a higher purpose to find their way, and you have found it. It is your chosen moment to understand that there is a power within you, a power that the demons cannot stand, that they fear, because it comes directly from the Most High. I want you to take a second, right now, to enjoy this video and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of a journey of profound revelations, of hidden truths that are meant only for those like you, those who are ready to understand the true purpose behind it all. Today we will explore how an angel can overcome the fear of a demon and what it means for you. So, stay with me until the end, because here you will discover that the power that is in you will not only protect you, but guide you to your destiny. Subscribe, enjoy the video and follow me in this search for the truth. Since the beginning of time, mankind has felt the presence of invisible forces that act in the world, of entities that, although we do not see with our eyes, we perceive in the depths of our being. Angels and demons, light and dark, have been in constant battle since before the earth took shape, and that battle continues today in our own lives, in our own hearts. But there is something important that you must know. If you are here, if you are listening to these words, it is because you are part of those few who are called to something greater. You are not destined to be a victim in this struggle, but to be a winner, someone who has within him the strength to defeat any darkness. Have you ever wondered why, in the midst of so many difficulties and trials, you continue to stand? Why, despite the moments when he feels that the forces abandon him, does he find within himself a spark that makes him get up again and again? This is not just a survival instinct, this is a calling. It is the echo of the divine voice that reminds you that you are not ordinary, that you were not created to give in to fear, because within you resides the same light that allows an angel to challenge the presence of a demon without fear, with an unwavering faith and trust. When we talk about angels and demons, many think of mythological beings, of stories from ancient times that have little to do with today's reality. But you, chosen, know that this is not true. He knows that the power of the spiritual is real, that the energies operating in the invisible world affect his life, his decisions, and his destiny. He knows that, as the Bible teaches us, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities, against forces of evil that seek to lead him away from his true purpose. But he also knows that God, in his infinite mercy, has not left him alone in this battle. He has placed at your disposal a legion of angels who, as heavenly warriors, are prepared to protect you, guide you, and give you the strength you need to face any darkness. Imagine, for a moment, one of these angels. It's not the romantic, ethereal image we've so often seen. No, this is a warrior, a being full of light and power, sent by God to fulfill his purpose. His mere presence makes the demons tremble, because they know that an angel does not come in his own name, but in the name of the one who has all power and authority. An angel does not need to shout or flaunt his strength. Their mere presence is enough for the forces of darkness to feel defeated. And, dear chosen one, you have within you that same light, that same strength, because God has put His Spirit in you. That makes Him different, powerful, unstoppable. I know that life can often make you doubt. The trials, the difficulties, the moments of loneliness can make you feel that you are struggling alone, that you are facing something too big for you. But let me remind you of something fundamental. When you carry within you the divine presence, there is nothing that can defeat you. Because even if the enemy tries to instill fear, even if they want to make you believe that you are small and vulnerable, you know that your strength does not come from yourself, but from God. And this strength, this light, is unshakable, it is eternal. Throughout history, we have seen countless examples of people who, despite facing dark forces, managed to win, managed to overcome themselves, because they trusted in this superior force that supported them. And you, chosen, are called to be one of them. He is called to show the world and himself that the power of an angel, the power of someone connected to the divine, is capable of overcoming any fear, any darkness. Because fear has no place in the heart of the one who walks with God, of the one who has decided to embrace his purpose and live according to his will. The enemy, the demons, will try to make you believe that you are not enough, that your prayers have no power, that you are alone in this fight. But this is nothing more than a lie, an illusion. Because they know, deep down, that when a chosen one decides to awaken to his true power, there is no force in this world or in the spiritual world that can stop him. You, with your faith, with your connection to God, have the power to dispel any darkness, to drive away any shadow that tries to cover your path. So today, I invite you to remember who you are and who you belong to. You are not an ordinary person. You are a chosen one. Someone who has been called to a higher purpose. You are someone who, in God's name, has the power to face and overcome any darkness. And whenever you feel afraid, whenever the enemy tries to make you doubt your strength, remember that you have within you a light that cannot be extinguished, a light that makes the forces of darkness tremble. This is just the beginning of the path. Today, with every word, you are reaffirming your commitment, reminding yourself of the truth of who you are and what you are destined to achieve. When we look around us, in this world full of confusion, temptations, and trials, it's easy to think that we're in a constant battle. And you are not mistaken, chosen. Every day, in every action, in every thought, you are in a battle that goes beyond what meets the eye. But in this battle, you are not alone. He has with him the support of the Almighty and his heavenly envoys. These angels, who, even without you seeing them, are fighting by your side, protecting you, guiding you, helping you to stand firm. Perhaps you have wondered, what makes an angel so powerful, to the point that his mere presence makes demons tremble? The answer lies not in the angel himself, but in the origin of his strength, God. The power comes from God. It is not a force that depends on the capacities or abilities of the angel, but on the authority with which God sends him. Each angel is a representative of the divine will, a bearer of the light and justice that come directly from the Creator. And just as the angels have this mission, you also have a mission here on earth, a mission that only you can fulfill. That is why you are called not to fear, not to be intimidated by the shadows that the enemy wants to put in your path. Demons know God's strength, they know his authority, and when they see someone acting in his name, they feel the same fear that they experienced before an angel. Because they see in you the presence of God, they see the determination of someone who has been touched by divine grace, of someone who has decided to live according to his purpose. Now, let me remind you of something that the Bible teaches us, something that is fundamental in this spiritual struggle. In Psalm 91, it is said that God sends his angels upon us to keep us in all our ways. Do you see the power that is in these words? No matter where you are, no matter what situation you are going through, you have a heavenly army on your side, ready to protect and guide you. This army is not there by chance. You are there because you have a purpose to fulfill, because you are special in God's eyes. The world will try to make you believe that you are just another one, that your dreams, your struggles, and your prayers are meaningless. But don't be fooled. Because you, chosen, are not here by chance. There is a divine purpose in your life, and that is the reason why the enemy tries to attack you. Because he knows that your life has a value and meaning that goes beyond what you can imagine. But despite all the obstacles, despite all the shadows that try to cover your path, you have within you the ability to win. Because God has given you a strength that is indestructible, a light that is inextinguishable. And that is the reason why fear has no place in your heart. I want you to think about this. The demons, these beings of darkness, know God's truth, know His power, and know that in His presence, they have no possibility of winning. However, they try to deceive you, they try to make you believe that you have no power, that you are alone. But this is nothing more than a trap. They know that if you awaken to the reality of who you are, to the reality of the authority and strength that God has placed in you, there is nothing they can do to stop you. And this is a truth that goes beyond what you can imagine. You are not destined to live in fear or uncertainty, because within you there is something divine, something that the enemy cannot destroy. You have God's presence in your life, and that makes you unstoppable. No matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you feel like you're on the verge of despair, you'll always have the strength to get back up. Because this force does not depend on you, it does not depend on your capacities or your will, it depends on the one who created you, on the one who has placed an eternal purpose in you. Every time you decide to face fear, every time you decide to walk in the light and you are not in the darkness, you are demonstrating that you are one of the chosen ones, showing the world and yourself that the power of God in you is greater than any evil force that tries to stop you. And believe me, the demons see it, they know it. They can perceive the light that is in you, a light that they can never possess, because it is a gift that God has given only to His children, only to those who are called to fulfill a special mission on earth. I want you to remember something very important. Fear is the enemy's favorite tool. He knows that if he can make you doubt, if he can make you feel insecure, he will have an advantage in this battle. But it also knows that when a chosen one decides to trust in God, when a chosen one decides to put their faith and their life in the hands of the Creator, there is nothing they can do to stop them. And today you have that choice before you. You have the choice to leave fear behind and embrace faith, to remember that as a chosen one, you have the backing of a power that is far greater than any darkness. Every prayer you pray, every time you decide to get up and move forward, you are weakening the forces of darkness, you are making the enemy retreat. Because he knows he can't against someone who walks in the light of God. He knows that in the face of faith, his power disappears, his authority is broken. And you, dear chosen one, have the ability to face it and defeat it, because you are not alone. You have with you the support of God and His angels, who, even if you do not see them, are fighting by your side. Therefore, today rise up with the conviction that there is no darkness that can stand against the light that God has placed in you. Rise up with the certainty that, as a chosen one, you have the power to overcome any challenge, face any fear, and live according to the purpose God has for you. Now, I want you to take a moment and imagine the power you have within you. It is not just any power, nor something that can be explained in simple words. This power comes from your connection with the Creator, from the grace that He has poured out on you and that has made you different, special, someone who is not destined to live in the shadows. Demons may try to deceive you, to make you believe that you are worthless, that your prayers are not heard, that your efforts are in vain. But they know the truth. They know that you are a chosen one from the moment you decided to open your heart to God, from the moment you made the decision to walk on the path of faith. You have been marked with a light that nothing in this world can extinguish. The demons recognize this light, they see it, and they are filled with fear. Because that light, which is God's presence in your life, is the constant reminder that they can't overcome you. They will try, time after time, to put obstacles in your way, they will try to tempt you, to distract you, to discourage you. But there will always be something in you that they will not be able to touch, something that belongs only to God and that makes you unbreakable. Think of the angels, those messengers of God. They do not doubt, they do not fear, because they know that their power does not come from themselves, but from the divine authority that backs them up. So you too have a mission in this world, a mission that transcends what others can see. And even if you feel small or vulnerable, I want you to remember that your strength comes from the one who created you. There is no shadow so dense, no darkness so deep, that it can make you shrink back if you hold fast to your faith in God. Each time an angel appears in the Bible, his message is usually clear and forceful: fear not. These words are not just a consolation, they are a divine mandate. Because God knows that fear is the door that the enemy tries to open to sow doubt in our hearts. But He reminds us, time and time again, that we are not alone, that His power protects us, and that His angels are all around us, ready to intervene on our behalf. How many times have you felt in danger or faced moments of uncertainty, and suddenly felt an inexplicable peace, a sense of protection? This is no coincidence. It is God reminding you that you are surrounded by His love, that His hand is upon you, and that nothing and no one can hurt you. The demons also know the scriptures, they know what God is capable of. They know that every time a child of God decides to take their place, every time someone decides to be true to their purpose, their power diminishes. So they try to convince you that your faith is weak, that you are alone in this battle. But you, as the chosen one, have the ability to recognize their lies and to hold fast to the truth that God is with you, that He will never leave you alone, that every step you take in faith is a victory over darkness. Imagine that you are walking in a dark valley. All around you, there are shadows that try to intimidate you, that whisper words of doubt, that try to make you think that you can't move forward. But at that moment, a light appears. And that light is you. That light is the faith you carry within you. It is the certainty that God is with you and that there is no power in this world that can extinguish that flame. As you move forward, these shadows recede, because they cannot withstand the purity of that light. This is what happens when you decide to trust God, when you decide to believe His word and His promise that He will protect and guide you always. The Bible tells us that the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and delivers them. This means that not only do you have God on your side, but you also have a heavenly army willing to fight for you. Every time you face a difficult situation, every time you feel attacked or vulnerable, remember that you are not alone. You have these angels, these divine warriors who are with you, who surround you and are ready to intervene at any moment. It is true that the enemy will try to make us fall, he will try to question our faith and make us believe that we are alone. But you, as the chosen one, have the ability to recognize your mistake. You know that your life is not an accident, that every moment, every step you take, has a purpose. God put you in this world for a reason. And even though the path may be difficult, even if you face trials and challenges, you have the strength to overcome them, because you have God on your side. I want you to take a moment to reflect on all the times in your life when you felt protected, when you felt that something or someone took care of you, even when you couldn't see it. These moments are no coincidence, they are reminders that you have a purpose, that God has always been with you, guiding you, protecting you, preparing you for something greater. And those angels that camp around you, those messengers of God, are there to make sure that you fulfill that purpose. This is not an easy path. I know that sometimes the weight of responsibility can make you feel tired, that you may feel that the strength is lacking you. But remember that every step you take, every decision you make to get closer to God, is a victory. Every time you choose light over darkness, every time you decide to trust Him instead of listening to the enemy's lies, you are strengthening your spirit, you are remembering who you really are, and you are showing the enemy that he has no power over you. And just as an angel does not fear demons, neither should you fear. Because the power that is in you, the power that God has placed in your life, is greater than any shadow. The history of each chosen one is marked by moments of challenge, doubt, and confrontation. But what differentiates the chosen ones from the rest is the ability to stand up, to look fear in the eye, and to move forward with the conviction that they have a sacred mission, a purpose that no one else can fulfill. Every test you face, every difficulty that seems to block your path, is but an opportunity to remember the power you carry within you. This power comes from God and no enemy can take you away. Imagine for a moment the story of David before Goliath. David, in the eyes of all, was just a young man with no experience in war, someone who seemed insignificant in the face of the giant's strength and size. But David did not look at the situation with the eyes of men. He knew that he was not alone, that his true strength came not from himself, but from the power of God that sustained him. David did not face Goliath with fear, but with an unshakable confidence that God was with him. That same strength, that same faith, is in you when you face your own giants, those problems that seem insurmountable, those fears that want to stop you. You must remember that you also have God on your side. You don't need to have all the answers, nor do you need to know how every detail will work out. All you need is faith to take the first step, to face the challenge with the certainty that God is with you. Like David, you are not fighting alone. God has put a mission in you, and He will give you everything you need to fulfill it. The enemy knows you're a threat. Know that if you awaken to the reality of who you are and the strength you carry within you, its power over you will disappear. Therefore, he will try to make you feel weak, insufficient, lost. It will try to plant doubts in your mind, to remind you of your failures, your mistakes, everything that once made you feel that you were not enough. But it is at this moment that you must be strong, that you must remember that your value does not come from your achievements or your failures, but from the love and grace that God has poured out on you. The Bible reminds us, time and again, that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They shall run and not be weary, they will walk and not grow weary. This does not mean that we will not have moments of fatigue or doubt, but that even in those moments God will be there to lift us up, to remind us of who we are, and to give us the strength we need to move forward. When the enemy tries to make you believe that you can't go on, remember that you have an inexhaustible source of strength in God. He is the one who sustains you and who gives you the power to overcome any obstacle. You are not here to live an ordinary life, to conform to what the world offers. You are called to something greater, because God has placed a special purpose in you. And even though the path may be difficult, even if you face moments of darkness, each step you take in faith is a testimony of your courage, your commitment, your conviction that you are destined for something greater. The enemy may try to make you fall, may try to convince you that the effort is not worth it, that you do not have the strength to continue. But you know that's a lie. You know that within you there is a force that comes from above, a force that allows you to face any shadow, any difficulty, any pain, because every trial, every obstacle you overcome, does nothing but strengthen your spirit, does nothing more than remind you that you are unbreakable when you walk with God. I want you to think about those moments in your life when you felt you couldn't do it anymore, those moments when all seemed lost. Remember how you somehow found a way to move forward? This was not a coincidence, it was God's hand on you, it was the guidance of His angels who were with you, protecting you and giving you the strength you needed to get up. And today, as you listen to these words, I want to remind you that that same force is still with you, that God is still by your side, ready to help you win any battle. Angels do not fear demons, because they know that light always conquers darkness. They do not doubt, they do not waver, because they know the truth of who God is and of His power. So too must you remember that God's power in your life is greater than any darkness you may face. No matter how great the obstacle seems, how deep the wound, or how painful the memory, God has the power to heal, to restore, and to give you a new chance. Each day you have the opportunity to choose who you listen to. You can hear the voice of the enemy that tells you that you are not enough, that you will never achieve your dreams, that you are alone in this world. Or you can hear God's voice that reminds you that you are His child, that you have been chosen for a special purpose, that you are of immense value, and that He is with you every step of the way. This is your battle, chosen, and you are assured of victory because God is on your side. The demons may try to make you fear, they may try to stop you, but you have a light within you that they cannot extinguish. This light is the presence of God in your life. It is the certainty that you are loved, that you have a purpose, that your life has a value that goes beyond what this world can comprehend. So, keep moving forward, keep fighting, keep trusting, because you are not alone and never will be. Now I want you to take a moment to reflect on the transformative power that is in you. It is not a power that you have given yourself, it is a gift that God has given you, a gift that comes from above and that distinguishes you in the midst of a world that often seems dark and directionless. You are a light in this world, a flame that has been lit by the Creator Himself, and this flame has the ability to illuminate even the darkest corners. But you need to remember something fundamental. This light that is in you is invincible because it comes from God. Think about it. If God is with you, who can be against you? This question, which may seem simple, contains a profound and powerful truth. The demons know this truth, and so they are afraid of those who stand firm in their faith, of those who have chosen to live according to God's principles and not the traps of the world. They know that every step you take in God's name is a victory, and every time you choose light over darkness, you are weakening their lies. You are showing the world that divine power is real, that God's protection and guidance are tangible, Sometimes in this spiritual battle, you can feel the weight of loneliness, be overwhelmed by thoughts of doubt, wondering if you really have the strength to move forward, and in those moments, the enemy will try to take advantage of it. It will try to make you feel abandoned, without support. But I want you to remember that this feeling is just an illusion, a strategy that the enemy uses to make you forget who you really are, because you, dear chosen one, are never alone. God has surrounded you with angels, beings of light, who are by your side, fighting with you, protecting you at every moment. The Bible tells us that God is our refuge and our strength, our help in times of trouble. This is not just an abstract concept, it is a concrete and true promise. It means that in every moment of difficulty, God is there to give you His strength, to remind you that you have the support of the Creator of the universe. No matter how dark the path seems, there is always a divine hand that holds you up, that pushes you forward when you feel like you can't anymore. This hand not only protects you, but also empowers you, gives you the ability to face any fear, to overcome any barrier. In the moments when doubt seems strongest, it is important that you connect with the Word of God, that you return to these promises that He made to His children. Remember that fear does not come from God. Fear is a weapon that the enemy uses to take you away from your purpose, to make you forget that you were called to something big. But you have the power to reject that fear, to face it with the strength and peace that only God can give. Every time you choose to hold on to faith, every time you decide to trust God, you are strengthening your spirit. You are building a barrier of light that demons cannot cross, because faith is armor. It is a shield that protects you from any arrow from the enemy. And that faith doesn't depend on what you see or what you feel. It depends on your decision to believe, on your commitment to follow God, even when the path seems uncertain. Did you know that faith is the language of the divine? It's the way we connect with God's power, how we bring His presence into our lives. Faith is not just a belief, it is an active force, an energy that transforms, that creates, that protects, and you have that faith within you. Each time you choose to trust God, you are opening the door for His power to work in your life, for your angels to surrender and for the divine light to illuminate your path. Demons may try to make you believe that your prayers have no effect, that your words are empty, but this is nothing but a lie. Every prayer you pray, every word you address to God, is a flame that ignites in the spiritual realm, a flame that demons cannot extinguish. They know that when someone prays in faith, with sincerity, he is touching the heart of God, he is attracting His favor, His protection, His guidance. And that connection, that bond that you have with God through prayer, is one of the most powerful weapons that you have. So, in times of trial, when you feel that the strength abandons you, remember to pray. It doesn't need fancy words or elaborate speeches, it just needs a sincere heart, a genuine desire to connect with God. He doesn't need you to be perfect or have all the answers. The only thing He seeks is your willingness, your openness, your willingness to trust in your power. Because, at the end of the day, victory in this battle does not depend on your skill or your knowledge, but on your faith in the One who has control of all things. The demons will try to make you doubt your faith, they will try to make you think that your mistakes, your failures disqualify you, that you are not worthy of God's love and protection. But none of this is true. God did not choose you for your merits, but for His grace, for His unconditional love. He knows who you are, knows every detail of your life, every struggle, every fall, and yet He loves you, values you and calls you a son. That is the force that you carry within yourself, the force that makes the enemy tremble. Because demons know that they cannot against someone who has given himself to God, who has decided to live under His protection and under His guidance. I want you to visualize yourself as a warrior of light, someone who, despite the trials, moves forward with his head held high, his heart firm and his faith intact. Imagine that every step you take, every time you choose light over darkness, is weakening the enemy's power. You are demonstrating that darkness has no place in your life, because you do not belong to darkness, you belong to light, to truth, to the presence of God. This battle is not only external, it is an internal battle, a struggle in which, each day, you must remember who you are, who you belong to, what your life's purpose is. Don't allow the enemy to make you forget your worth. Don't allow him to steal the peace that God has placed in your heart, because you are a chosen one, someone who has been called to a sacred mission, someone who has a purpose that no one else can fulfill. Move forward, stand firm. Every time you choose to follow, every time you decide to trust God, you are building a life full of purpose, of peace, of light. And this life, dear chosen one, is the one that God has always desired for you. Remember, chosen one, that your life has a divine purpose, one that transcends all human understanding, and that the enemy can never take away from you. No matter how many trials you face, how many difficulties try to stop you, because God has already placed in you a strength that knows no bounds. This force is the same that allows an angel to defy any darkness, and this force lives within you, waiting to be activated each day through your faith and your trust in the Most High. Think about it. Every act of faith you do, every time you choose light over darkness, is like a signpost in the spiritual realm, saying, here is a chosen one, here is someone who has been called by God, someone who carries his light and his purpose in his heart. And the demons know, they see and they feel fear, because they know they have no power over someone who is anchored in the faith and grace of God. Now I want to invite you to an act of faith, to a moment of connection with the divine, with this light that you carry within you and that distinguishes you at this moment. Open your heart and allow yourself to feel God's presence in your life. Feel how He surrounds you with His love, how He strengthens you, how He reminds you that you are never alone. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and say within yourself, Lord, here I am. I recognize that you chose me for a greater purpose, that you called me to be a light in the midst of darkness. Give me strength and wisdom to fulfill your will, that my life may be a reflection of your love and your truth. Next, I want you to declare your identity as an angel of light, as a bearer of the divine presence. Take a moment to leave a comment right here, declaring that you are an angel, and may this affirmation be a reminder to you and to all who see this message, that you have been called to something greater, that you carry within you a mission that only the chosen ones can understand and fulfill. This statement is not just for others, it is a reminder to yourself to remember who you are every day, in every moment. Also, if this message has touched your life, if you feel that these words have been a guide and a support on your path, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Join this community of chosen ones, of people who, like you, have decided to live in the light and follow the purpose God has placed in their lives. Each subscription, each like, is a sign that you are committed to walking in faith and to being part of this mission to bring light to all corners of the world. Dear chosen one, may this prayer, this declaration, and this community be a strength in your life, a constant reminder that God is with you and that you have a higher purpose. May you get closer to this divine mission each day and live with the certainty that, no matter how dark the world seems, within you shines a light that nothing and no one can extinguish. Declare forcefully, I am an angel, and move forward with faith and courage, because you, dear chosen one, are part of something eternal, something sacred, something that God Himself has placed in your heart.